Hello, I'm just popping in to do a little build update. I am doing fully juiced T15 maps now, so made a lot of progress. Um, so what I found is the Frost Nexus tech that I was thinking about did work, and it works with Frost minions. And so I can show you kind of the different ways that I've worked on scaling that. And to work on clear outside of the manual process that I was doing in the previous update with Frost Bomb and Frost Nova. I'm now able to fully kind of utilize minions to create that frosted ground. So it's pretty well automated. There's not that many buttons unless you need a full DPS setup. Like in this case, I put on the Frost Armor, I put down my circle, bring the minions back out, put out my paint offering, and now I'm just spamming my left click button here to pop the ice as it happens. It works really good with ritual. It's really satisfying, really good time. And I've also just found in general that ritual is pretty rewarding, so it's been able to kind of fund the different upgrades that I've made so far on this character. But I'm just gonna rush to the boss now to show single target DPS, and then I will go over the setup. So let me just find the boss so I can show off single target. I guess I could also go over like mapping. This is kind of optional to do what we call like weapon swapping. You don't have to do it with this build, but you absolutely can. So like put your frost mages in the center of a big pack and then have them pop their eyes kind of like this. Boom, pop, pop, left click, everything dies, right? Optional, you don't have to do it, but in certain circumstances it is pretty optimal to speed up your clear. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Man, this is POE 2 map for sure. There we go, found the boss. Okay. So for bossing, I'm gonna only swap one support here. Just wild shards for multi. We're going to Arctic armor, put down the thing. My minions all died. Great. Okay. This is not a great showcase. This boss does a bunch of chaos damage, which minions are not great at surviving, so we really just need to freeze him. But he keeps moving. This is very fun. Okay. My minions are dead again. There we go. Alright, here's the damage. There we go. There's a boss. A lot easier whenever your minions are getting one shot. But anyways, here's the setup. So for gems, for your Naviras, you want to utilize Muster since you have a ton of unique reviving minions. Bidding, you could do 2 or 3. I'm currently using 3, just testing it out for the cooldown recovery. But bidding 2, which is currently on my Kalari, gives 30% more damage. I actually like bidding 2 on Navira more. Concentrated area. You want concentrated area because the less area of effect doesn't actually affect the AoE of this ability, so it's just free damage. What affects the AoE on this ability is the amount of frosted ground or chilled ground that you have in an area. So this is essentially just saying 30% more damage. And then I have Cold Pin on. You can go with a lot of different things in these last 2 slots, but just check on this DPS number. It's usually pretty accurate for the performance. Kalari, Conk area, just to make sure that my abilities are hitting the boss and applying the crit weakness, which is part of, this ability, or part of just what Kalari does. If you read the Ascendancy, this is why it's essential to have in this build. Kalari the Tainted Sands inflicts critical weakness on hit. which is a 20 stack debuff up to 10% crit chance from all your minions hitting it. Frost minions have a really high base critical chance, and that's why they pair really well with this setup. As you can see here, their ice shards, the projectiles. Critical hit chance is at 26%, so it goes up to 36%. And then the explosion itself is at 55. So just really good critical build with a few optimizations, but ultimately a lot of that base crit chance is natural into the gem. I'm just gonna kind of scroll over everything here because it all makes sense for each of these. Sigil of Power gives you spell damage, so put support gems on that. Also, don't forget to quality it. When you quality it, it increases the quality of the ability. So you read Sigil Radius is 0.08 because of my 20% quality on the staff. So minor optimization there, but it makes it much, much bigger and easier to keep your minions on top of it. Frost Mage minions. Frost Nexus is required if you want them to spread Frost Ground for you, which is the whole point of the setup. So that's required. Muster, same reason. Feeding Frenzy, just a general 30% damage buff. Rapid Casting, cast speed. And then Multi-Shot or Wild Shards, depending on your setup. Wild Shards is going to spread the Frosted Ground or Chilled Ground more rapidly and allow for more clicks, more pops of Naviras. So I generally run Wild Shards for clear and then multi for bossing, single target. Quill Crab, so you need the 44 Spirit Quill Crab. This Quill Crab has a spell where it launches Chilled Ground, kind of over time. And so to scale that, essentially all you can do is give it as much attack speed and projectiles as possible, and also make the stuff that it's spreading larger. So I have Rapid Attacks 3 for more attack speed, don't care about the damage on this thing. Magnified Area, Multi-Shot, and then lastly I have Cold Exposure. Since I'm doing a crit minion build, it has pretty high crit chance naturally. I don't know if it says it on here, it doesn't. But I see it apply Cold Exposure plenty of times, and for the 5th slot I would probably put some sort of crit chance gem here whenever I get to that, so that way it's applying that exposure frequently. It's a 10% damage buff on your bosses. We have a shock minion here. The only real required thing here is overcharge and shock. Muster is just damage for more shock chance, and then I can actually upgrade this too. I don't even have the highest version of this, but just cast speed for more chance for shock. Clerics, normal stuff, elemental weakness, snipers, blind and calling are nice, and then gamble shot for spreading, chaining, forking the blind around, just a survivability tool. And then I'll work into getting more spirit for weavers and whatnot, but those are gems. General kind of minion level pieces here. So we scale this build with spirit, cast speed, damage to allies in your presence, minion level, things like that. So look for those types of pieces. You want +2 on helmet, +4 on scepter, +3 or 4 on amulet, +2 on focus, and you can get spirit in your rings with eventers. Spirit and as high ES as possible on your chest if you're going the ES route. And then resistances. ES is the only real stat on gloves, so just ES and res. Belt is a good way to get some armor, specifically with this ascendancy. It's good, I'll show you why. And then just boots. Rarity is nice. I have quite a bit of rarity built into this build because of venters. Charms, I just have immunity to bleeding, immunity to freeze, which that's not as important anymore because I'm using my Manamus in the helmet, because every time I use a command skill it removes a damaging ailment, which is a really good defensive layer. So I never bleed, ignite, or poison anymore, and when I do, I'm automatically casting this for damage, and it's clearing those damaging ailments. Here's the tree. Starting with Ascendancy, Sacred Rituals gives me a large amount of physical damage reduction. So I went from, I think, 5% to 61, so the more energy shield I get, the more physical damage reduction I get. This is just generally a good ES point here. Gives you more effective use of your energy shield. Navir's Fracturing, Kalari, and Kalari's Deception. You just spam these two skills to stack up the critical weakness. Here's the tree. I take ES nodes, I take command nodes, I take minion attack and cast speed nodes, efficiency. I also took these AoE nodes, so these 4 points right here is 24 plus 20 is 44 area of effect. And then also some chaos damage that isn't negligible. So what's really good about this is that the spells that your Frost minions are casting have an AoE explosion. That's why there's 2 different pieces of it. You've got Ice Shard and Projectile and Explosion. This explosion scales with AoE. So make sure you're scaling that up. It increases your clear quite a bit. And so this node is generally quite useful. AoE. Energy Shield. This is Energy Shield. Energy Shield. Minion. Minion crit. Minion crit. Some minion survivability. Take these once you're noticing things are dying. Mine still kind of are. So I'll probably take some Chaos Res stuff, which would be Chaos Res minion is somewhere. It's right here. There we go. Yep, this node right here gives you a little bit. There's more ES nodes over here, and then there's minion nodes over here. These are all fine. Do your tree how you want. There's also some spirit here if you're struggling to fit in your minions. That's gems, that's set up. Yeah, that's kind of where this build's at. Plans, more ES. What are the plans? I mean, more minion levels, corrupting gems to get more gem levels. This is currently just a 19. I can get it to 21. I can get, that kind of stuff going. But better gems. So, I can show gems too. I mean, gems that you're looking for. You want minion stats, ES stats. Mine are not optimized by any means, but they're pretty solid. I think this one's kind of my worst. Yeah, I need to upgrade that soon. Oh, and don't forget to click Presence of Mind, CI, Chaos Inoculation. Click that when you're around 6,000 energy shield. Get more energy shield through things like increased global defenses, right? That gives 20% ES. And then, you get 400, 300, 300. There's a big upgrade to be had here. It's just rather expensive. And that's kind of how you're getting your ES, which scales into physical damage reduction right here. Another upgrade I can do is I can work on Baryonic Ley Lines, get rid of this point right here, and get more nodes into Energy Shield by placing Baryonic Cure. I have a lot of nodes in this area, so I think next video I'll try to show that off, but thanks for watching.